Hey, it's Bennett from the Strength Factory, and I've got a full body mountain bike mobility routine just for you. Now, there's two ways we can approach this. Number one, if you're new to training, new to mobility training, and we really need to make some positive changes in your mobility to make improvements, then this really needs to be a standalone session, like morning or evening or lunchtime or whatever, where this is the focus, okay, rather than doing it with strength training, for instance. And if you are going to take that approach, option one, then for all of the holds, those static holds, we're looking for a 2-minute hold on each one, which is a long time. You're going to need to be disciplined. You're going to need to use a timer in order to do that. Option two, okay, is using the same moves, the same routine, but trimming it right down, 20 to 30 seconds for each of the holds. And that is a great thing to do before training, before riding. And it's just a little and often kind of maintenance approach to make sure that you stay moving freely and with great mobility. So let's get started. First things first, if you're feeling really tight, really cold, maybe it's first thing in the morning and you're going to be doing a hardcore mobility session, I do like to warm up a little first. So don't be afraid to hop on a spin bike or walk up and down the stairs a few times if you're at home, just to get the blood moving a little bit, and it helps you to ease in. Right then, we're going to start off with hip flexors, doing what we call a couch stretch. So ideally, what we're going to do here, we're going to protect the knee with some sort of pad, okay, or even just a mat, and then I'm going to lay my foot and my leg really close to the wall, and then up I come into this tall kneeling position. Now the key here is to squeeze my bum into it here and feel it right in the front of the hip and all the way down the front here. You can see at the back here, my foot and leg are laid really basically down the wall with my knee as close to the wall as possible. And all we're going to do here, we're going to chill, we're going to breathe, and just keep pushing into it. Okay, we're looking to feel it in the front here. Remember, hip flexors get super tight on people who cycle a lot, and they also get super tight on people who sit a lot, drive a lot, and all that good stuff. So this is a key area that I find most mountain bikers who come and see me need to work on. Final point then, on the couch stretch, if you need to, you might have to get yourself a little help. So let's say you're super tight and you can't get up here, what you can do is just support a bit of weight with a bench, chair. I'm using a foam roller, and still do the same thing. Still squeeze your bum into it to feel it here, but I can't get back here, so I'm just going to support my weight on a foam roller, and that's just a slight regression until you make some more progress. Right, number two is a pigeon stretch, and that's all about opening your hip out to the side. It's called external rotation. So you can see here, I bring that knee out in front of me, nice tall position, or you can lie over it. I prefer tall, keeps my weight in the hips. And what we're looking to do is we're going to feel it in the hip capsule, okay, in the hip here. So I'll change legs so you can see better. Okay. And again, we're just going to hold that position. Now, again, regressions. If you're super tight or you've had some knee problems, maybe that's uncomfortable, we can support the outside of the knee on something like a yoga block, okay, or just a rolled up gym mat or something like that. What that does is just supports the outside of the knee, and it means you can do the exercise, the mobility exercise safely and relatively comfortably without putting pressure on your knee. Some people find this one a little uncomfortable. In between the static holds, I like to use a bit more of a flowing approach, okay, which just feels really good, and I find it just helps me to get more out of the static holds as well as keeping it more interesting. So we're going to get a mountain climber with a rotation to open up the upper back. Right then, so you see here I start myself in a press up position, nice tall position. Then I'm going to step forward, trying to get my foot next to my little finger, okay, or as close as it will go. I'm then going to just drop the hips a bit here See how they drop down, and I'm going to feel a big stretch through the hip, groin, hamstring. Once I've dropped, we drop that elbow, and then we open, point at the ceiling, and then down and gracefully change sides. So drop the hips, drop the elbow, gracefully open and down. Step back. And the goal there is to flow, is to do it smoothly, okay? Exact reps don't matter. Do what feels good. 5 each side is probably a good place to start. Okay, we're going to have a little look at the ankle now, okay? And to make real difference, your ankle mobility takes a lot of work. Bearing in mind that your Achilles is the biggest and thickest tendon in your body. It's going to take some time, okay? So this is probably just the start of what you need to do if you've got real tight ankles, okay, and you can't drop your heels on the bike. So get yourself in this tall kneeling position, make sure everything's lined up. The hips are forward, the leg here is lined up with the foot, okay, and all I'm going to do is put my chest and knee forwards. See, I'm driving the knee forward, so the knee is in front of the toes here, and I'm going to keep the heel on the floor or very close to the floor, and I can feel here the tension at the back of my Achilles, base of my calf, as I push into this, okay? Now remember, for holds, 2 minutes on each side, if you want to make a real difference, 20 to 30 seconds if you're just using it pre-training or pre-riding. Just make sure that while you hold this, you keep everything straight, okay? It's tempting to let the knee drift out to the side or inwards. Keep it lined up straight. Now what we're going to work on here is actually just a big quad stretch, but really we're trying to take the knee through a full range of motion. It's really similar to what we did on the couch stretch earlier, but if your quads get super tight when you're riding and training loads, then I find that this is more effective for getting into the quad rather than just a hip flexor, which you get on the couch stretch. So we're going to set up similar to the last one, to the mountain climber here, and then I'm going to reach, my right arm is going to go around the back and take my left ankle and foot, and then I'm going to pull the foot into the bum and squeeze forwards. And what I've got here, I can't point, I fall over, is a really intense stretch in this leg here, okay, in the quad down the front of there. So I squeeze into it, and this, it hits a bit of a lower spot usually than the couch stretch, and I find it really effective when people are riding loads and you want to just take a bit of tension out of those quads, especially if you're getting sore knees. Now, some people struggle to get into that position. They go to do that, and their hamstring goes a bit crampy. So if you need to, you can just give yourself a little help with a band, a little bit of faff, and pull it in with the band like this if you can't reach your own foot like that. We're going to go upstream now, and we're going to work on the upper back, the thoracic spine. This is super important for you people who spend too long hunched over your laptops, okay? So we're going to get on a foam roller, which if you don't have one, just get one. They're really, really cheap. I'm going to start with it across my upper back around the area of the shoulder blades. And now what I want to do here is I want to isolate the upper back. So if I just lean back without thinking, then what happens is the lower back just arches. We don't want that. So first of all, abs are still. Lock this in so the lower back doesn't move. And now, hands behind the head, gently roll back over the foam roller. And just relax and breathe. Remember, you know, up to 2 minutes if you really want to make some big changes. 20 to 30 seconds for maintenance or little extra doses. Now what we can do here is we can then come up and we can move it slightly, so you can go up or down like one vertebra in your spine. So I'm going to go there, so I've moved that way, so it's actually lower on my back now, and I'm going to lie back over it. Similarly, you can go the other way and get it a bit higher on your back, like that. Just keep it off of your neck, okay? I also like to just support my head a bit, otherwise it can get a bit intense on your neck, but just do what feels good. Now, to complement the foam roller on the upper back, We can do a bit more to open up the shoulders and upper back here. Okay, so we're going to go on all fours, getting stomach tight, because I don't want to arch my lower back. I want to isolate that. So nice flat back, stomach tight. I'm going to roll it forwards. Okay, so when you roll that forwards in this position, you're going to feel it maybe through the lats, hopefully a bit of upper back, through the actual shoulders themselves, maybe a little bit of chest. You're going to feel it wherever you're the tightest. Now, you might find that a bit intense and a bit hard work to hold for a full 2 minutes to start with, but just see how you go. Just focus on rolling it out and dropping the head down in between the arms. Finally, I like to finish off with a bit of a flow, so you just feel nice and loose as you finish. And this is really similar to the mountain climb we did earlier. Okay, so I'm going to start in my press up position again. I'm going to step forwards, but this time I'm going to drop the knee on the floor, and then we're going to turn the other way. So this arm and leg are glued together. We'll reach up and down. We're going to do a few reps before we change sides. Yeah, the arm and leg are glued together. So the key takeaways are, if you really want to make a difference to your mobility, you're going to need to hold the holds for a solid 2 minutes. And remember as well, this is not meant to replace the advice or treatment of a physio. This isn't about injuries. This is just about improving your mobility so you can train and ride better and just function as a better human in day-to-day life. A lot of them, they are going to be uncomfortable. They need to be uncomfortable. But if they're absolute agony, okay, and they leave you completely wrecked afterwards and not able to walk properly, then I suggest you've gone too hard and you need to tone it down. So get it in your diary, be disciplined, be consistent, as I always say, and then you're going to really reap the rewards to improve mobility every time you go riding.